So here we are. It's been a long time getting everything to not necessarily how I wanted, but you know, building a good setup, maybe even a great setup. Not the greatest, for sure, and it's not my full vision for what I want in a whole master gaming setup. Working with what I have, I feel I have built a very cozy, relaxing environment to just sit down and game in. There's definitely more that I want to do and more like unified I want to make with the furniture and stuff, just with what I have. I've spent my whole life envisioning having a setup like this, for wanting something like this for so long, and finally achieving it in my life means a lot to me, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because you guys are awesome. We've grown a lot as a channel, and what I've built is an amalgamation of all of my favorite things. It took a lot of work to get everything to the point that it's at. The Nintendo shelf was intended to be this video. Just looking at the whole setup put together, I decided that we could make it more than just the Nintendo shelf. The Nintendo shelf. I hope you guys enjoy the little setup tour I'm about to give here, and thank you all so much for subscribing. If you're new here and checking out the setup, consider subscribing because we're growing, we're getting there, and there's so many projects I have in my noodle that I want to bring to the Matrix. Enough yapping, let's get into the setup tour. Okay, sorry if the mic quality is really shitty. I don't have, this camera doesn't have a standard mic attachment, which is a shame because I actually have a Rode mic, but it uses the standard jack. This does not, because this DSLR is more for photos than it is taking videos, even though it can do videos, so what the heck. Originally, I was gonna do a video on the Nintendo shelf, just that, but it kind of just turned into, I might as well just do a whole setup tour of my goon cave. No, but this is where I am when I'm live streaming, editing videos for the channel, all that fun stuff. And then this is the backdrop. So we'll start with the Nintendo shelf, since originally that's what this video is supposed to be about. This, as I've said many times, was trash picked, locally. Some dumbass had this in their possession and just decided that they were gonna throw it away. I don't understand. They probably had no idea what it was worth. Especially because you can't, at least I couldn't. I probably did a week's worth of research. I'm sure if I kept digging for hours on end, I'd probably eventually find it. Me and even the group on Facebook could not find this specific cabinet, except one dude in the group did. He had a screenshot of a Kmart catalog from the 90s, one of the store ordering catalogs. If you were the store manager, this is the catalog you would go to order product and displays for your store, and this display was in it. Originally it had sliding glass. You can still see there's the tracks there. Don't have the original glass, obviously. And whoever had it before me beat it up pretty bad, because there's a piece missing here, and they snipped the wiring for the fluorescent fixture. So right now I kind of just have RGB running through it. I mean, it works. Yeah. Light diffusion's kind of crappy. I feel like if you had a bright ass fluorescent, that this whole side area would glow a bit better. But the Nintendo sign itself does show pretty well. So when I originally picked this thing up, I was going to paint it white, because it was supposed to originally match this shelf that has all the Star Wars stuff on it. So it was supposed to be a modern take. I was gonna mask off Mario really well and mask off the Nintendo logo, but then just hit it with white, just for a more modern style look and to match most of the furniture in here. But people advised against it. They said it's probably best to keep it original. So then I was gonna restore it, I was going to do a whole video series restoring it. Decided against that too, just to keep it in its original as possible, especially because some dude offered me $2,500 for this cabinet. He told me that he would keep it original and all of that, so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna keep this original. So yeah, that's the story of the Nintendo shelf. Found it in the trash, took it apart. It's been sitting in my room at the old apartment for months, maybe even a whole ass year. And now that we finally got the new space, let me zoom out here. Oop, let's zoom in. Now that we got the new space, I finally have, you know, a place for it. So let's talk about what's on here. The little ice blue controller. We got Charmander. I wish I had an autofocusing lens, you know. Got a GTR, my old graphics card, some fucking motherfucking Gundam, Gunpla, Bulbasaur. And I kept the boxes for the Gundams, you know, keep it in the back. I have a lot more that I built that are just sitting in their boxes in this closet, which at any time I can swap out if I'm feeling like putting some different ones in the display. Got the original Nintendo, and of course, because this is Mario 64 Nintendo cabinet, we're gonna have the Mario 64. On top are some plushies. We got Pikachu, we got Piplup hiding back there. We got Mew, who's a Build-A-Bear, which I actually named Mew Shorzy because that's when I built this Build-A-Bear when Shorzy was popular on Hulu. And we got the Korok, and we got Link's bitch ass hiding back there next to the TIE Fighter, because the TIE Fighter wouldn't fit anywhere else. Next shelf, we got the amiibos, the only amiibos I could care about. Legend of Zelda, my favorite Nintendo game. We got OG Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past. I had the gold... Okay, this is a very tragic story. I had the gold N64 cartridge of Majora's Mask with the holographic on it, you know, the 3D holographic on the front of the cartridge, along with the first edition gold cartridge of Ocarina of Time, the one with the original Islamic chants in it. I had that cartridge, and I kept it at my great-grandmother's house because, you know, there was, like, this is back when I didn't really give a crap about collecting or anything. So I kept it there so me and my cousin had shit to do whenever we were bored, went over to great-grandma's. And unfortunately, she had the tendency of letting the neighborhood kids hang out at her place. You know, because we were all friends with the neighborhood kids, so they would help her out with stuff around the house because she was really old. Like, whenever we couldn't be there, the neighborhood kids would come and help out for money and chores and stuff. And I think one of them stole my N64 with the Zelda cartridges because it's completely gone. And I went back there to check, and she had since passed, and I went to check again, and I asked everybody who cleaned out the house, and nobody found it, so RIP those gold Zelda carts. Got Gundam boxes, Nuka-Cola Victory. I am eventually going to get all of the Nuka-Colas. I'm going to food color. Oh no, the cap is missing. It actually had a Fallout branded cap, like, you know, the caps, the currency they use in the game. I don't know where that cap went, but I am gonna, you know, fill them with food coloring water to match each Nuka-Cola, maybe even to find a way to light up the quantum. Well, I gotta find it when it's on the shelf. We got what's left of my Pokemon stuff. You know, there's the Pokeball Plus Supernatural Impala model that I haven't built. RX-7, Game Boy Advance SP, another Pikachu plushie. Moving down here, we actually got a Sega Game Gear. Yeah. How many of you Gen Z kids have one of these? But yeah, we got the Game Gear. I do have Sonic Triple Trouble in the original box. as well as I think it was like Sonic 2, which is I don't have the box for, but yeah, the cart. We got the original Sonic the Hedgehog 2 there. Hell yeah. Backup auxiliary GameCube, which is actually Keaton's, not mine. PlayStation 1 Extreme Pinball. This is kind of there because it's the only PS1 game I have. We've got a dusty ass Retron 2 that needs to be cleaned up with Super Mario 3 and Super Mario World. Super Mario World is my favorite Mario game. Hands down, the best Mario game. No questions about it, the best Mario game. But what's cool about the Retron is it has these switches here, which lets you switch between Nintendo and Super Nintendo. And then I gotta find the Super Nintendo controller. It's in the boxes still, because we still have some boxes we haven't opened from moving in. So the Super Nintendo controller somewhere in there. But yeah, you switch between them and you can play both. We got Quest 64. Out of the way, Rias. Quest 64, which apparently I didn't know this, but it is like one of the OG Dragon Quests. I could be wrong on that. That was according to my friend Keaton. Or it's like a rebranded Dragon Quest. I haven't played it yet. Maybe we'll play it on stream, because I have like this wild... This is the pile of cables here. I have like this wild-ass contraption. This is for like switching to all of the retro consoles, which are supposed to go to that TV, because that's an older plasma that sells RCA. So it's supposed to let you switch between all of the retro consoles, which I was going to fit. And then this HDMI adapter, which will allow us to put the capture card on it, so we could play N64 with the capture card with this adapter. Along with the old tape recorded, analog camera, which I'm going to use for the secret project. I'll give you a hint, it's spooky. If you are a good sleuth or know me personally, you know what that analog camera is for. The hint is it's something spooky. That's kind of giving it away, but, moving on. Got this clear aftermarket GameCube controller that has stick drift and is forever broken. Very sad. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, OG Mario, Duck Hunt combo, Metroid Prime Hunters, OG fucking yellowed, and Nintendo controller. Rumble Pack. We already talked about Sonic Triple Trouble in the box. Paul Walker's Lego GTR. Gamer Sups. Waifu Cups. My super awesome 2DS. Moving down one shelf, we got the N64 itself. My childhood autism. Sonic the Hedgehog. I have the GameCube hooked up, actually, because I was playing Sonic Adventure 2 recently. Mario Sunshine. The pre-order 2-game bonus Ocarina of Time with the first Master Quest, where it wasn't mirrored, it actually had the revamped dungeons. Pretty fun. I haven't beaten the Master Quest yet, but I plan on getting to it. That came with Wind Waker. And we have the Wind Waker. I actually had 2 copies of Wind Waker, but I sold one to Bag Pringles. Shout out to Bag Pringles. I'll throw his YouTube channel over the little thing here. I also sold him Shadow the Hedgehog with Wind Waker. Then Twilight Princess. It's a competition between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess for my favorite Zelda game. But I think Twilight Princess kind of holds a special place in my heart, because I actually beat all of Twilight Princess without any guides or anything, or looking anything up, because this was I was fucking 12. Not when this came out, but when I actually really got into playing it, I was 12, and this was before I knew you could look up how to beat shit. So I literally figured this whole game out. Along with Minish Cap, which I have a copy of Minish Cap, it's just somewhere. But with Minish Cap was the other Zelda game I beat without any guides. Ocarina of Time I actually played also without any guides, but I don't really count that because this game was really, really easy to figure out, even for a kid. Down here we got some throwaway fucking slop besides Skyrim, Besides fucking Skyrim. Bought that day one. And Spider-Man 2, I guess. But the rest of it, all these games I have... Oh, and Persona 5. I forgot I had that. Ignore my stupidity. But most of these games I have on PC and Game Pass, so like these are games that the exchange, not even just GameStop, but the exchange wouldn't take for trades. So now they're just kind of here, waiting to die. This is the special edition Halo 4 box with the Gears of War controller on top of it. That fun, early 2000s era clear plastic controllers. I gotta dust this shelf now that I'm looking at it. Hardened Edition Black Ops 4. I don't care what anybody says. Black Ops 4 was a fucking goated COD. I just kind of wish the zombies wasn't so neglected. Because it was really good zombies. There's just not a lot of maps. Actually, no, I take that back. There's a decent amount of maps, but there could have been more. That's what I say about every COD Zombies iteration. There could have been more zombies maps. Put the modern on the old. We got the Nintendo Switch. Down here is where I keep all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the bottom shelf. Since that's the least you could see. So yeah, that's like the whole Nintendo shelf thing. Like, it was kind of long. This could have been a whole video in itself, but fuck it, we're here. There's not really much more to talk about in the room, but, I think this was a legendary find for any setup, streaming setup, backdrop, recording setup, backdrop. It's fucking dope. Next, we got the War Shelf, which everybody has seen, in all of my shorts or past, YouTube-related videos about airsoft. This is where I keep my ammo for my real guns and all my airsoft guns. Oh, airsoft is so childish. Oh, airsoft is so childish. I have the real thing. Just get the real thing. Who wastes money on airsoft? Just get the real thing. But yeah, this is all the airsoft rifles. Got all the airsoft handguns. The rest of it's less interesting. This is just like gear and shit. Wow. So yeah, that's the war corner. That's where most of my gun and airsoft related shorts take place. Oh, and the Rising Sun flag. I do want to talk about this because some people were commenting on my blind reload video that got 4 million views. That, oh, he's got the Rising Sun flag in there, blah blah blah. Like, I bought this Rising Sun flag back when I was really, really active in the car scene. And it's just like an aesthetic thing that people in the car scene do. But also it's not very common, but some modern Japanese naval ships still use that flag for their naval ships. So it's not like, it doesn't just mean, Imperial Japan attack China, World War II, bomb Pearl Harbor, down with the government. Like, it's not there to make a statement or anything. It's part of Japanese JDM car culture. As you can see with the fucking JDM tapestry, they reference the Rising Sun flag there. It's a thing, and there's actually a lot of Japanese people that commented on that video because airsoft is originally a Japanese sport. So there's a bunch of Japanese people that follow airsoft on YouTube, and they commented on the video, and they all like the flag. Give or take what you will, what you want to feel, how you feel about that. Dun, 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 dun. Rapid fire because the camera's about to die. This is my childhood right here. I don't want to give myself away as like some lame ass kid, but I played with these things till I was like in 7th grade. And I kept all of them, which is nice. So now I can display them. We got the fucking Kashyyyk troopers back there. I like how the Jedi Starfighters just kind of chill up in that corner. So this is like episode 2, 3 Clone Wars. Then up here we got the original trilogy. This is actually an old Luke Skywalker figure right here from Endor. That's not the original lightsaber that came with him. Unfortunately, I don't have that, but the figure is original. Along with that snowtrooper. This guy. This snowtrooper is an older snowtrooper figure. And I got the lunchbox. The lunchbox. Fucking Tatooine Sand Trooper. Boba Fett. Yeah, I was always a Clone Wars kid, because that was just like the movies that were coming out while I was growing up. But I do have a few original trilogy figures. Along with the TIE Bomber, Y-Wing, that's missing the back parts of the Y-Wing. Anakin's Jedi Starfighters with a couple clones. Again, super fucking cool how they just chill here. I really like that. Ooh, OG Qui-Gon Jinn. The robe on him isn't OG, but that's an original figure from Phantom Menace era. So, plans for this. This is not permanent, this setup here. I mean, that backdrop is permanent. That's the Goku drawing that I drew. Get a look at that. Wow. But eventually, both of these right here are going to get replaced with a nice either white or black TV stand. So the PC case will be sitting on the end of the TV stand. I'm going to get an updated, brand new TV to fit that whole area. I actually might mount it on the wall. You know, the original vision for this room was to have a futon here, because me and the homies be chilling in this room. So this whole back wall was originally going to be a futon. But I figured for my streams, it's more of a investment to have a nice looking backdrop for the audience for streaming and recording videos. That's just how I went with it. You know, there was going to be a futon here. We use lawn chairs when we hang. Maybe I'll come up with some sort of like flip-flop temporary solution, or like a futon, because these double doors do open. So maybe when we get a new couch, I could just open the double doors, drag the couch in when the homies want to chill in here, you know, or have like a futon as a third part of furniture to move back and forth. Gonna get a curtain rod to run some soundproofing curtains over that. And this whole section of wall is gonna be covered in soundproofing. And I'm gonna get a third monitor. I'm gonna, instead of mounting it here, because I want to be able to see out the window, I'm actually gonna mount it here, but it's gonna be like on a swivel mount, so when I'm using the monitor, I can pull it out and have it above the setup. So essentially you can fold the monitor back against the wall like that, and then when you need to use it for productivity, I can pull it out and it'll swivel to be above the other monitors. That's my plan, and then behind it's going to be soundproofing. I think that's a pretty cool idea, because this is the first apartment that I am allowed to mount shit on the walls. We got the JDM tapestry, classic. The Gooning throne. Yeah, my real deck that I'm currently skating. My snowboard that I need to replace because it's old as shit and falling apart on the tail from doing tame dogs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I got all these Legos I have no place for. And when I get the new TV stand, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with all this shit, because I have to keep all of the nerd stuff in this room now. This is the man cave, gamer cave. You know, Ashley doesn't want any of it to leak into the living room, because at our old place I had all of this stuff, well, minus the Nintendo shop, and the guns, but I had like all this stuff in the living room, and it looked like a frat house, in her words. So the living room is all decorated and is going to be decorated by Ashley. She gets to have the whole rest of the apartment, and this is my one little cave. But that's okay, because I prefer to have this one little room. Having the desk in this window corner, especially in wintertime, is such a vibe. Like, I just love, you know, looking out, especially when there's a snowstorm happening. You know, you're just gaming in your cozy little nook in the snowstorm. And 90% of the time when I am gaming, it looks like this shit. Yeah, this is what the room looks like. It is super, super cozy. So when my favorite is when there's a snowstorm while I'm playing games. I'll usually turn that light off. That light does change colors, so when I have friends over, I have it on, but usually that light's off. But mostly it's for when I'm streaming. It makes for good... It makes for good lighting for streaming for the camera. As you've probably seen in my more recent streams, that you could actually see my face now. You know. With the updated like LEDs on this top shelf, I kind of feel like the rest of it is missing out by not all being glowing. So eventually this is all going to have RGB on every shelf. It just looks weird with just the one being all ethereal. This is how I'm usually sitting. You know, nice little snowstorm outside. Or my favorite is in the summertime. Oh, POV. In the summertime, I can open up that window, let the air in. Very nice. But just a vibe gaming in front of the window during snowstorms. It's got that cozy, like, cabin feel. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed. It wasn't the craziest, like, you know, special effects edited video. We're just kind of walking through the room, and yeah, I used the mic on the camera as I explained. But I just thought it would be cool to share with you guys what I have built throughout my lifetime and plan to keep on building. And as my life goes on, you know, we're in this new apartment now where I have this awesome room, to eventually moving on to a house one day, hopefully, where I can build an even grander setup. And I'm just a big nerd, you know? And through my time on YouTube, I've watched hundreds of videos of people giving their setup tours. I've seen lots of creators with really cool setups, really cool backdrops for their streaming and channel content. It just feels really good to be where we're at. I can't wait to see what we make of the future together. Thank you guys so much for all the views and subscribing to the channel. And yeah, more to it. I got a couple videos. I have an airsoft video that I'm working on as per usual, just another compilation video, but I have a whole video series idea which I wasn't able to do thanks to the Glock mags I have being really shitty at holding gas. I definitely want to do, like, because I always see like some of my favorite creators like Turkey Tom, Tuv, Windagoon, Wavy Web Surf, you know, all those dudes that cover like criminals and things that people have done, you know, just slop to watch and enjoy, talking about people's mistakes. I want to do a video of like airsofters that became criminals, because it's always like YouTubers that became criminals, TikTokers that became criminals, you know, gamers that became criminals. I want to do a video like that, but about airsofters, because I don't think I've seen that I know of a video specifically about airsofters who became criminals. It's always usually content creators or like gamers or, you know, a certain niche in a group. But like airsoft is one thing that's there. I haven't done any research on it. I don't know how many cases there are, if there's enough to build a video, but I'll do my best. I'm sure there's some cases out there of some crazy extreme airsofters who went off the deep end, just doing one of those little like true crime style videos, I guess you would see. That's there. More paranormal videos in the future, just because they're fun and silly, and I love talking about ghosts and ghouls and cryptids. And gaming content. Gaming videos are a little bit more stressful to edit, because I'm currently working... Yeah, Vera? Gaming videos are a little bit more stressful to edit, because I'm working 2 jobs currently, and just having to sit through and watch myself play a video game to find parts to put in, because like I could just go off audio waves in the clips to just be like, oh, something, I say something here or something, but I also like to showcase the games that I'm playing and like get some cool like moments and clips in there. And I hope you enjoyed the setup tour, because it's a little niche in the YouTube that me personally, I like to watch setup tours. Thank you guys for watching, and tune in to the next Goose Cheesy video whenever that comes out. Bye for now.